Week 5 is here, and the Blitz Breakdown starts now on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. We got Brony McGuffin here, Jaxon Earle over on the couch getting ready to join us at 8:20. Kyle Dougherty from the Yulee Hornets joining us later on at 8:33. And Coach Kevin Sullivan for picks again this week. Excited to have the legendary coach of Andrew Jackson, AC, so many other programs here in the area on the show. And Brody, let's get things started off with the Week 4 recap. And how about the Creekside Knights, the Kings of Longleaf Pine again?
Yeah, they got it done. That's 2 years in a row. First time in Creekside history they've ever gone to Bartram and beaten them. And also the first time we've ever had Creekside's ever had a 2-week stretch on Bartram. So good for them and a good win from them last Friday.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big statement win there for the Knights. 28-14 final score. The Knights passed for 315 yards. Rozzy Sperry with 272 yards and a touchdown. Garen Blaylock, 7 receptions for over 100 yards. Timmy Goodrich, 5 receptions for 94 yards. Jaxon Earle, 2 rushing touchdowns and an interception, an acrobatic pick at the front of the end zone. And overall, the Knights just dominated that game from after the pick 6 to finish.
Yes, they did, and they played with a lot of heart and a lot of grit, and they didn't bat an eye after that not good start at all. You know, that almost pick six out of Connor DeMarco was a great play by him. 3 picks on the year for him as well, so that's a great player for Bartram Trail. But after that play, and Creekside just hit the gas and just never looked back. They had a great game there, and good job by them.
Yeah, it's wild, and I wonder about the Knights. You get that win over Bartram Trail last year. How much do you think that helped them confidence-wise going into this game?
Well, it gives Creekside the confidence to let them know, like, hey, we can beat these guys. We can go out there and we can beat them. They've done it before, and a lot of those kids on the team this year played on that team last year, so they got a lot of good leadership going into the game, obviously, and they play with a lot of energy. You could see that sideline. They didn't bat an eye from the start of the game till the end and just kept playing really hard. And I think finally getting over that hump, you can start getting the ball rolling. And they showed that Friday. And again, like I said, that's 2 years in a row for Creekside. It's never done before.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. You can know as an alumni just how much that game means to the players. And you still got friends on the team, guys that you know. And obviously, huge win there for the Creekside Knights. And congrats to Coach Mack in that program. We'll have Jaxon Earle on at 8:20 to talk more about that game. But let's take a look at another big game in the area. How about Beachside? Their 33-20 win over Ponte Vedra. Big-time win there for the Barracudas.
Yeah, big-time win by Beachside. I think that would be marked up as an upset. PV, a really good team going into it and playing some really good football. They're still throwing the ball very well, even though it's just a few picks by the QB for Ponte Vedra that game. And Beachside's QB, I think he returned that game. I think that was his first game of the season. I could be mistaken on that, but I think it was his first game. Eddie Jordan, what a game by him, and threw the ball around, and just what a good game by Beachside, and the 1-0 to start district play.
Yeah, that's a big win for Beachside, a statement win. That's a team that lost to Ponte Vedra in the playoffs last year, I believe. So they get their revenge against a district foe, and how about this? I mean, they held PV to 43 rushing yards, 1.5 yards per carry, and we talked about it for the Sharks team. They need to find a way to establish some sort of a run game.
Yeah, we always wondered, like, in high school football, you got to be able to do both to win a lot of games, and PV, although still a really good team, it's just it finally caught up to them that once your passing game has a few yips with those 2 interceptions that their QB threw, just after that, just really couldn't keep the score up, and Beachside was just letting it fly around. And again, just a really good win by Beachside, but PV is still a really solid team in the area.
Yeah, I think coaches talk about it week in and week out. They'll go into a matchup defensively and say, I want to make that team one-dimensional. And teams have had a lot of success being able to do that against Ponte Vedra. And again, that passing game is still rolling for the Sharks. Another 300-yard game from Cole Rosendahl, but it came with 2 interceptions, and that's where if you are going to rely on the passing game and be unable to run the ball as they were on Friday, it comes with a risk because it comes with a risk of turnovers, and that's what happened against Beachside.
Yeah, every team says it. You got to keep the defense that you're playing honest. You got to keep them honest by running the ball. Once teams can get in just like a pass rush set and just a deep cover set to where they can get multiple DBs on the field, maybe an extra one, and they can just go out there and just really hone in on the passing game, and run just keeps getting stopped. Eventually it's like a bend but don't break type of thing, and I think this past Friday it broke for PV, and just got some room to work with that run game, and the defense to step up a little bit more of these the rest of the season.
And the other thing is, just how hard is it to pass once you get inside the red zone, and especially inside that 10-yard line, it can be extremely tough. You're running out of room to move the ball through the air.
Yeah, I feel like especially when you get inside that 20-yard line, it becomes very tough to throw the ball around, and that's especially a place where you need to keep them honest and start running it a few times so they don't just hone in on the passing game. But, a lot smaller windows to throw the ball, and that could have gave them problems this past week. Didn't watch the full game, but yes, that could definitely cause a lot more problems in the red zone as being one-dimensional.
Yeah, big-time win there for Beachside, and they've got a matchup with Bishop Kenny this week. That's a really exciting game right there. Beachside's offense, a very talented unit, and I think that's going to be the battle this week. Beachside's offense versus Bishop Kenny's defense, and that front seven specifically.
Yeah, that front seven of Bishop Kenny is very good, and they fly to the ball. Very physical football team. And, excited to see that game at Friday and see how that plays out, and that'll be a good one to watch. Really excited to see also how Bishop Kenny's offense can respond after that game against Bowles last week.
Yeah, that's the big thing. They lose a rivalry matchup, which we'll get to here in a second. How much can that motivate a team the following week?
Well, we saw it with Bowles last week, or the week before last week, so 2 weeks ago. Wasn't a rivalry game against St. Aug, but a big-time game that they lost, and that definitely left a bad taste in their mouth. So next week they definitely came to play a lot more hungrier, and I think the same can do for Bishop Kenny. They just lost to Bowles. They feel like they could have played better in that matchup, and going into this Beachside game, I bet they're really hungry to get a dub in that win column for them.
What's the biggest example of that in your playing career? Was there a game that you guys went into really angry after the result of the last one, and it kind of propelled you to a win?
Well, I'll tell you this. My senior year, we were 1-3 to start the season. We just coming off a loss to Buchholz High School, which was a really good team. But that's a game that left a really bad taste in our mouth, and we were going into a game against Mandarin High School, and with all those stacked players like Tremel Jones and Jamie French and a lineman committed to Miami at the time, and everybody was saying we're going to lose that game, but we were just really ready to win after just so many letdowns. And it could really just leave a big hunger inside your team, and you're just wanting to win after a bad loss. So I would say that was the game in my career that I would say that we really felt like that.
That Buchholz loss, right? Oh, sorry to Chandler the mic. I hit the mic with my hand there. But Brody, you've told me before that Buchholz game, you gave the worst pregame speech of your career. Am I correct?
I would always give a speech before every game, and that Buchholz game, I don't know what it was, man. I just couldn't come up with anything. It was probably cringy to a lot of the kids on the team. But for some reason, we went out. We were fired off in that first half. We're only down 8 points going into the halftime. And then at halftime, we're all fired up. We're all giving speeches just about yelling at each other. Then after that, it just went downhill. So weird day from – at halftime, we were more fired up to play than we were before the game, but we played worse. So sometimes it just is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's about staying even-keeled sometimes, right? Even though that wasn't really your style, was it? No, it was not.
No, I was very, very hyper guy and just played with a lot of energy. That was the way I like to play.
Yeah, it remains true to this day, you could say. On to our next matchup, Bowles Bowling over Bishop Kenny. 36-0 final. They led 29-0 at the end of the first half. How about this, Brody? Bowles only attempted 7 passes. They just ran the ball, and that is a really impressive thing to do against that Bishop Kenny front. Come up with a few big plays on special teams, but let's talk specifically about that Bowles run game and what they showed against Bishop Kenny.
Yeah, I want to say when we were doing our picks for these games last week, Coach Sullivan highlighted that Bowles should run the ball more. They got a really good run game, and a really good sophomore back just keeps finding the end zone week in and week out. I mean, he don't look like a sophomore. That's a big kid right there, and he can move. He's going to play college somewhere someday. That's a great player. But, yes, this run game ran really well against Bishop Kenny, and that's not no slouch front seven right there. Those kids play very physical and get all 11 hats to the ball. And just Bowles, I mean, when you establish a run game, that's just what every offensive coach wants to do. They want to establish the run game, and open up the passing game. But it was working for them so much they didn't even need to pass the ball that much. So good for Bowles, and that's a big win for them after that loss last week to St. Aug.
What's more demoralizing as a defensive player, being unable to stop the pass or the run?
Stop the run. Stopping the run is the most demoralizing thing. I feel like at least limiting the run is what your goal is going into the game. Like, yes, they can have some pops here and there and just have some good drives where they have flashes of good runs. But if you can just limit them to where they just can't run whenever they want, that means you can feel like a one-dimensional and just stop the passing game. I'll say this, when it's the other way around where you're stopping the passing game, but you can't stop the run. I remember playing a Georgia football team my senior year in football. They ran the ball the whole game, converted 3 4th downs. They never punted. They never punted the whole game. That was one of the worst feelings I've ever felt as a defensive player walking off the field, when they just ran the ball all over us and we couldn't stop it. So for me personally, I'd rather stop the run than stop the pass if I had to choose one.
I don't think there's anything more demoralizing for a defense than when they can break off 5 yards of carry.
And you're getting out physicaled, really. That's really what it means. You're getting out physicaled, and it almost feels like they can just kind of do whatever they want, especially when they're doing multiple types of run plays. You're like, man, we can't stop any of these. So it's definitely a demoralizing thing. And but the good thing is you got next week. You always got next week to play and to go out there and prove themselves.
Yeah, and Matt Toblin over there at Bulls, he talks about it every single week, it seems like. That team loves to be physical. That's their identity over there at Bulls, and they showed it there against Bishop Kenny. Xander Edwards, who you mentioned, he's got college offers. He's a sophomore. He's insane. 19 attempts on the ground that game, 184 yards and 4 touchdowns. On the season, this is Edwards' stat line through 4 games. 689 yards, 10 touchdowns, and over 9 yards per carry. That is absurd. And they haven't been playing slouches either. He's doing this against quality competition.
Yes, they have. They played Monarch earlier in the year, and then they go and played St. Aug, and then they played Trinity Christian, who's that's a solid defensive front. Might not have shown it on the stats, but again, they've played the toughest teams week in and week out. But yeah, it's just so impressive as a team, and to know that you have that good of a run game, I think that just gives your whole offense a confidence going into every game that we can go down here. If we need to rely on the run, we'll go ahead and do that whenever we need to. So that's a really good sign for the Bulls offense, and I bet they're going to keep rolling it and giving it to that sophomore back.
And credit to the big boys up front, too, because it doesn't matter how good your running back is. You got to have guys blocking for him. So shout out to that Bulls offensive line as they are rolling here through the first 4 weeks. And how about Mandarin, a defensive battle against Bradford, and that is new territory for the Mustangs this year. They score on special teams, big passing play to Bryson Wright, and that's all they needed because that defense stood up and handled that game against Bradford.
Yeah, great win by Mandarin. Last year, I think they dropped that game, and that left a very bad taste in their mouth.
I think it was by the same score, too, 14-7.
Every game that Bradford plays is a 14-7 game. And no offense to their offense, but their defense is just so scrappy. And any team knowing that they're going to go play Bradford, they're sitting there thinking, this is about to be a 4-quarter game. It's going to be a close game the whole way. If we want to win this game, we need to execute in tight margins, and Mandarin did that. Good for them. And shout out to Bradford. I said it on the Blitz Breakdown last Friday at the end of the night. Whenever you play Bradford, they just always make the other team play their type of game. And I think that's just so impressive. Year in and year out, they do the same thing, and it's just so impressive. But, again, good win by Mandarin. Mandarin Mustangs are rolling right now.
18-13
Yeah, it was 18-13 last year, not 14-7. But, again, the defense stepped up. They played Bradford's style of football, and they beat them in Bradford's style of football. Allowed just 1 offensive touchdown. Brody Jennings snagged his 4th pick of the season. He's now tied for 22nd in the country, 3rd in Florida in interceptions. And I also want to give a shout-out. We don't talk about Bishop Snyder much when it comes to football, but Gavin Beck over at Bishop Snyder right now, tied for 5th in the country and 2nd in the state with 5 interceptions this season. So shout out Gavin Beck. We see you over there putting up numbers there for the Cardinals.
He didn't even play. He didn't even play football.
4
last
games
year.
in, right?
4 games in. He's got 5 picks.
He's averaging like 1 point something a game for picks. That's impressive, man. A pick was very hard to come by in some games, and when you got 5 or 4 picks at this point in the season, even three is very impressive. I mean, you just got to chalk it up that they're just natural ball hawks and they just find the ball.
5 interceptions is great for a season.
Yeah.
4 games is absurd. And Chandler, did you have something to say about Gavin Beck? You've been talking.
Yeah, he didn't even play football last year. He's been a basketball player his whole life. I think some of his buddies told him to come out and play some football, and he's out there now. And I think he had 3 picks his first game.
We got to get this kid on the show.
Yeah, we might need to talk to him and ask him his secrets, because how is that possible? 5 picks in 4 games. That's never heard a stat like that in high school football.
Natural ball hawk right there, first year of football. How about that? And then Bryson Wright, another crazy game, 5 receptions, 146 yards, a touchdown. Knox Annis, 70% completion percentage, 244 yards against that defense. On now to Reigns, rumbled over Lake Mary, 51-3, and man, did they prove something in that game. Nice and St. Aug survived Fletcher and Riverside. Nice 22-6 over Fletcher. St. Augustine 47-41, and we got a big matchup this week. Nice and St. Augustine battling it out. A thriller last season. Nice picked up a 35-34 win last year. Their first win against St. Aug since 2018. Brody, where will this game be won on Friday?
I think it really depends on if Nice's defense can stop St. Aug's offense. I think Nice has a better defense than St. Aug, and I think it's by a few levels better. They got they just got guys everywhere on that defense. So I think the game's going to be one of who can win that battle. If Nice, they don't need a lot of stops. They just need to hold them to around 30 points if their offense can keep doing what they've been doing. Hit a little bit of a lull there against Fletcher, 22 points. I don't think that's going to cut it in a game against St. Aug. But other than that, their offense has been rolling. So I think the game is really going to be between that Nice defense and that St. Augustine offense.
Yeah, and that Fletcher defense, I think they proved they're the real deal over there. Excited to see them against Mandarin later this season. And speaking of some defense, we'll be joined by Jaxon Earle, safety for the Creekside Knights, after this break on the Blitz Breakdown.
Sorry, guys. There's still some stuff to learn week 4.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com. Burgers or breakfast, you can get it all at Whataburger. Try something new on the menu or an all-time favorite like the Whataburger Patty Melt.
And now you can have breakfast here at Whataburger 12 hours a day, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. Menu items like the bacon taquito, sausage taquito, honey butter chicken biscuit. Whether you work the late night shift, just want a snack early in the morning to get your day started, or a little pick-me-up late in the morning, 12 hours a day, breakfast served, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m.
A dozen locations in Jacksonville. You can order pickup or delivery and download the Whataburger app. New rewards members get free Whataburger items when placing their first online order. Just download the app. And for us coffee drinkers, Whataburger has all new hot coffee and iced coffee too. Satisfy that coffee craving at Whataburger 24/7, and it comes in a variety of flavors. Burgers, breakfast, coffee, and so much more. Whataburger, just like you like it. Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Tony Mazzio, Stanwood High School, class of 2002.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Welcome back to the Blitz Breakdown. Noah Schlicksup, Jaxon Earle, Brody McGuff, Stuart Weber here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Jaxon Earle from the Creekside Knights coming off of a big game against Bartram Trail. Jackson, our first in-studio guest. Thanks for joining us here on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, excited to have you and coming off of a huge game against Bartram Trail. 2 rushing touchdowns and an interception. And your brother, Oscar, played at Creekside for a few years.
Yep.
Is he ever going to not hear about this? Or are you ever going to stop talking about it?
I'll never stop talking about it. I mean, he's never beat Bartram, at least on varsity, so I always have that on him. I always have a district championship on him, so it's funny to mess with him about that, for sure.
Yeah, man. A little jealous from, I'm an alumni. I used to play at Creekside. A little jealous about that. We all always wanted to get that Bartram win, but very proud of the way you guys played and very proud of the way you're leading your team. And just want to talk about your team's mindset going into the game. How are y'all feeling? What was different about your team that our team just couldn't do?
I just think that, after a rough start, 0-3 start, everybody's just hungry. Everyone's so hungry, and I think that Bartram, that rivalry, kind of like it makes it even more mean something to the team. And I think that after we lost to that team, we came back that week and we just went to work, and we had our best week of practice that we've ever had, and guys were locked in. There was no messing around. So I think that's what propelled us, and that's what got us over that hump. And that was the first time we ever beat them at their place, so that felt good. The team was happy. So I mean, I think we're just building off that, and that win creates momentum for this season. So we just got to build off that.
Yeah, very, very big win out of you guys. And, man, I'm going to be honest. I forgot who you guys are playing. Who you guys playing this week?
Winter Park.
And last year y'all beat them, I think so, I think y'all beat them by a bit amount.
Yeah.
What do you guys –
We did.
What are you guys trying to – you guys had practice today, and what's y'all's message going into this week and just trying to keep that ball rolling when the win column?
I mean, we're not satisfied, right? We're 1-3. Like I said, we got to grow. We got to grow on both sides of the ball. And we just got to play our best. And, we haven't played our best the past couple of weeks. So I think we're going to keep growing. And I think we just, they got some dudes on their team. We got to stop them. And we got to play Creekside football. We got to play tough, disciplined football, run the ball every play. That's Creekside football. So I think we got to play that style of football.
I know Coach Mack is smiling somewhere right now listening to that answer.
Yeah, all the Creekside players go through, they kind of start talking like Mac. That's how much he keeps instilling his belief in you. But just one more question. You started on varsity as a sophomore. Not many people have gone through Creekside and really started a full season as a sophomore in varsity. But your sophomore QB came in there, Sperry. How proud of you of him? Because you've done it before, and you know how hard it is to play some varsity football as a sophomore. How proud of you of your sophomore QB?
He's just a great player. He came in and just went straight to work. I love that kid. He's a great kid. He's going to be so good when he's a senior. I mean, he's a ball player. And, playing as a sophomore, it's tough because the game is so fast when you're that young and you're playing against 18-year-olds and you're only 15 years old. Like, I was 15 years old playing against 4 and 5 stars. Game's fast and you got to know your stuff.
Yeah.
So him just playing the way he did and just leading that offense was so good to see out of a young kid. So.
And very fun to watch, and just a great game by him and a great game by you guys. And, go to you.
Yeah, and let's talk about your 2 rushing touchdowns in there because you used to be a running back before switching to safety. How's it been kind of getting back to your roots here this year?
I mean, that was awesome. We did that in practice, and I was just so excited because, I love playing defense, but there's nothing better than scoring a touchdown against your rival. So that wildcat formation, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, yeah.
And you got your pick. Walk me through that play because I said it on the broadcast. It looked like Peterson had a man wide open in the end zone. You came out of nowhere. How did you come down with that football?
Well, one of our corners actually busted the coverage. So when he busted it, the guy looked like he was wide open. And, I mean, I just saw the quarterback, drop his shoulder, and I just went up and got the ball, It's what you're taught to do as a safety. And I just saw it from a mile away. It was like slow motion almost. It was awesome.
Well, it wasn't slow motion when we were watching it. You came in like a freaking torpedo, man.
That is a great comparison, right?
Like out of nowhere. Like I was literally like when I saw the ball go in the air, I was like, "Oh, this is a touchdown!" And I just see it zip right by it and get that ball. What an acrobatic play and just very athletic play by Jaxon Earle right there, man.
Yeah, I don't think we have the highlight queued up, but for any of those who are interested, go check it out on the Action Sports Jacks Instagram, TikTok. It is there. What a catch, what a play.
Thank you.
Is all I can say. And I want to ask for you guys, you were 0-3 going into that game. You mentioned it, that you were sticking together. As a leader on that Creekside team, how was your role in kind of keeping the team together?
I think, I've had experience, played 3 years like Brody said, and each year you learn something just about like being a leader. And, no matter what happens, like I always stick with those guys because I care about those guys care about each other. So no matter what happens, like we'll never beat each other up. We'll always stick together. So I think it was more of a team aspect than me. Like everybody was leading each other. Everybody was pushing each other to be their best. So I think that's definitely what I would say. I mean, guys just care about each other on our team and they care. So
last thing I want to ask you, because you're in the process of getting recruited, you're being underrated, in my opinion, overlooked by some college coaches. So I want to ask you, for any college coaches out there, what kind of player are they getting if they bring in Jaxon Earle to their program?
I mean, I'm a type player, might be undersized, but I'm gonna give you max effort every play. I'm gonna give you max effort. I'm gonna be a good leader. I'm gonna be a good player. I'll work as hard. I'll be the hardest worker on the team. That's probably what I'd say. That's the type of player you're getting.
And we can attest to that. We've seen it firsthand. Jaxon, hell of a leader on that team and having a hell of a season. And before we go, I hear we're getting some requests in the chat to get Big Neil on the mic. So, Neil Earle, he's shaking his head. He won't do it.
Can't do it.
Father of 2 Creekside football players, and man, have they done a good job over there for the Knights. Jaxon, thanks for joining us here on the show, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was awesome.
Man, it's been awesome.
Jaxon Earle, everybody. And now moving on here to our rankings this week, and a lot of big games from last week's slate. Reigns coming up with a huge win. St. Augustine in a close battle against Riverside. Bowles blows out Bishop Kenny. There's a lot of ways we could have gone with this, but Chandler, let's reveal what we got here for week 5, and top 7 staying the same. Reigns, Nice, St. Augustine with Bowles, Mandarin, and Oakleaf in the middle of the pack, 4 through 6. Ed White and Bradford rounding things out. Bradford, they may have lost, but Brody, we think that they earned their way back into the top 8.
Yeah, I think they did, and especially with Bishop Kenny getting that, just a big loss to Bowles, which is going to happen sometimes. Bowles is a very disciplined program. When they play disciplined football, that could happen to you. You can get caught like that. So Bradford earns their way in, and I think after this week, this is going to be shaken up a little bit more. We got a lot of big games coming up, and this top 8 is going to be definitely shaken up going into the next week, and I'm excited to see where the rankings fall.
Look out for Ed White, though. 74-0 win over Inglewood, and I think that is a really dang good team over there. But the quality of competition outside of Trinity Christian hasn't necessarily been there for them yet, but that's a team that I think we're slowly going to see rise in the rankings as this season goes on.
Yeah, I agree. Week 1, I think I had a lot of belief in them. I had them beating Trinity that week, and just excited for that team and that program. Just being really good this year, and really finding to the stars are aligning for them, I would say.
Yeah, and obviously 2 and 3 in the rankings facing off this week, St. Augustine and Nice. We will have picks for that matchup coming up later in the show, but first we'll be joined by Yulee head coach Kyle Dougherty ahead of our game of the week between West Nassau and Yulee. Back with the head coach of the Hornets after this break on the Blitz Breakdown.
When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, Nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade. If you need a quality play this football season at your home, call That One Painter First Coast. Locally owned and operated, experienced employees, no builder grade materials. And there's more, and for that we throw it to Noah Schlicksup. That One Painter First Coast can apparently help your kicking game too.
Well, after my failure on skinny sticks last year on Creekside game day, I've spent a lot of time out here at Creekside practicing my kicks. There's only one issue. How is that even possible? The good news is I know exactly who can help. That One Painter can handle all your painting needs, from field goal posts to cabinets to stucco. They got you covered. Though they may not be able to help with my kicking, they can certainly help with the posts. Call That One Painter First Coast today for all your painting needs at 904-495-1373.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
We are into the third quarter of the Blitz Breakdown. Noah Schlicksup, Brody McGuff, and now being joined by Coach Kyle Dougherty over there for the Yulee Hornets, going into our game of the week between Yulee and West Nassau. Coach Dougherty, great to have you on the show. I'm not hearing anything right now. Chandler, we got...
Getting some technical difficulties right now. Just like last week, all over again.
Yeah, it's something about, I don't know what it is, but I don't think that technology wants us to speak to the coaches for some reason.
No, they don't. You know, it was working like the first 2 weeks, and then we go into week 3 and week 4, and it just...
It's gotta be something with the mic. All right, we're trying it again.
It's definitely our fault.
Coach Dougherty, we got you?
I think so. I can hear you guys.
There we go. Coach Kyle Dougherty with us now. Thanks for joining us here on the show.
I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, it's really excited for this week. Yulee and West Nassau, big rivalry up there in Nassau County. And I just want to start off by asking you what this game means to your community and your team.
Our kids love this game. This game is a really big game for both of our communities. The stands are always packed for it, regardless of what the records are from each team. It's just great that both of our teams are having good seasons. West Nassau's having a great year, just like they did last year, and we've kind of bounced back from what we did last year, and we're playing good football. It's gonna be a really good football game Friday night.
Absolutely. We got a 5-0 and a 4-0 team coming into this one, and last year, phenomenal game. 22-21. You guys came out with a short end of the stick. How would you describe last year's matchup and kind of the motivation that could bring in for you guys this season?
We mis-executed a lot of things last year. We weren't sound defensively and doing things that we were supposed to be doing when we were supposed to be doing them. We also had a lot of injuries. We played a lot of sophomores as it is and had a lot of injuries that came into that game. And had a lot of injuries in that game that added to our already injured and young football team. We're just, we're older and wiser, and we're healthy at this point this year, and we're just playing good football. I think it's going to, have another good football game on Friday night because West Nassau is a really talented team.
Yes, sir, Coach. And it sounds like you guys have gained experience by what you're just saying. And I just want to know what type of brand of football does Yulee football play?
I just think, we talk about toughness all year long, and we just talk about being like accountable to our teammates, accountable to each other, accountable on and off the field, because that translates into real life. We talk about being tough in that way. Jay Billis has an article about toughness that we talk about a lot, and all of those little things that go into it. So the Yulee brand of football, I think, revolves a lot around toughness. It's not fake thump my own chest toughness. It's like, I'm going to show up at work every day. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to be a great teammate. I'm going to be lifting up my teammates and believe in everybody. That's what our brand of football is at this point.
And it sounds like you guys have a tight bonded group of kids. And what would you say your favorite part of coaching them is?
That they're eager to get better every single day, that they don't take it for granted. Our kids this year we don't have a lot of egos in this group. Everyone just wants to win a football game. Nobody cares who's getting the ball at the end of the day or who's making all the plays. They just want to be a part of something that is a winning brand of football that executes things the right way and plays the game the right way. And that's what they're doing right now.
That's awesome. Awesome to hear.
I want to go back to that article you mentioned. When did you find that, and how did you decide that this could apply to my football team?
Yeah, the Jay Billis article, I kind of found one of my college teammates is a head coach at a D3 school. I believe in Minnesota. He's in Minnesota at Bethel University in St. Paul, I believe. And he kind of rewrote the Jay Billis article and applied it to football. And I've just kind of carried with it everywhere I went and applied some of those principles with it. But the Jay Billis article turned into a book. It's a great book to read, talking about like what true toughness is and showing up every day and going to work every day, regardless of the situation, and being able to block things out and just focus on what the task is at hand. We talk about that a lot, like all these kids these days, they have all these distractions. We talk about like once you walk in that door in that locker room at 4:00, you're locked into what the task is at hand for football. And we let those distractions not affect us until we're, done with our practice for that day.
Might I ask what the name of that book and that article is?
It's Jay Billis Toughness.
Jay Billis Toughness. I think we got to check that out after hearing this. I think nobody really embodies toughness like probably the face of the Yulee Hornets program, Derrick Henry. How much does he get brought up around your team?
All the kids know about him. We've got a couple coaches that played with him or were around the program when he was there. Derrick Henry is definitely an embodiment of toughness. Someone that was able to come out of this community and overcome all the hurdles he had to face, where people were trying to play him on defense instead of playing him on offense. And someone finally gave him a shot. And when he got that shot, he really took advantage of it. And that's why he's in the position he's in now.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, Coach. Brent Martineau did ask the line for Derrick Henry mentions on the Friday Night Zone Blitz last week. We got over under 5.5 from us this week. So just giving you a heads up there. And I want to talk about the guys on your team. Who are some players you want to highlight that have stood out for your squad this season?
Turtle Ricks is really the senior that has really stepped up. His brother Braylon left a great footprint in our football program. His brother, like Braylon, embodied toughness for sure, and Turtle is right in his footsteps. 2 weeks ago against Charlton County, Turtle had 9 tackles, 8 TFLs, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble in one game.
Wow.
He led our team in receiving last week. He also plays tight end for us. He's a 6'1", 260-pound kid that can backflip in full pads. Oh. So he's a really dynamic athlete, plays D-line, plays tight end. We split him out a little bit. He's been the starting center for us for the last 2 years, but we've got a couple young guys that are able to fit that role for us, and we're able to move him and be really versatile with him in some other spots. So there's been he's a really big bright spot. Mm-hmm. Jaden Wright is a senior. We have Shamar Gibbs. They're playing both ways for us. They're doing a great job defensively. I still have a lot of really big, talented junior class. Cody Ogburn is an offensive tackle who has a Division II offer. JJ Etienne leads our defense in the middle. Our two kind of rolled safeties are Tegan Rubain and Maddox Brooks. Then they do an incredible job out there on the outsides. Sorry. We do have a couple young, really talented kids. Jaden Timon is our running back. Last 2 weeks, he's come back into the fold for us in the last 2 weeks, but the first 3 weeks of the season, he had over 150 yards rushing, I think, in each of those games and multiple touchdowns. He's just been really dynamic playmaker for us. Our quarterback, who we've kind of moved around a little bit, is Trey Vasquez. He's playing a little receiver and a little bit of corner. Trey is a dynamic athlete who makes a lot of big plays. He opened the game for us Friday night with like a 50-yard run for a touchdown. And then we also have kind of a newcomer in Jackson Visconti. He got to play for us for the first time last Friday night, and he was great. He was 5 for 8 passing, a touchdown. Had another opportunity for a touchdown. Couple big plays that he threw really well, got called back. So it's really nice to have him in the fold. He's a big time playmaker. He's going to do a lot of really good things for us.
For sure. Incredible arm talent on Jackson Visconti. Excited to see your guys out there this week. And what is your message to Yulee fans ahead of this matchup?
I'll just come out, be loud. This is going to be a really exciting football game. I don't know that since I've been here that both teams have had this much success into the season when we got to face each other. We're going to have both teams are going to be undefeated into this game. It's a big rivalry. I mean, everyone in this community knows that. There's probably going to be standing room only around the fence line. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere to be a part of.
Yeah, and can't wait to experience it. West Nassau comes in averaging almost 50 points per game. You guys over there at Yulee have allowed just 25 the entire season. So a great matchup Friday night. That'll be live here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Coach Dougherty, can't wait to see you out there.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks for coming on.
And we will be back after this with Coach Kevin Sullivan and our picks for Week 5 in high school football in the 904.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com. Burgers or breakfast, you can get it all at Whataburger. Try something new on the menu or an all-time favorite like the Whataburger Patty Melt.
And now you can have breakfast here at Whataburger 12 hours a day, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. Menu items like the bacon taquito, sausage taquito, honey butter chicken biscuit. Whether you work the late night shift, just want a snack early in the morning to get your day started, or a little pick-me-up late in the morning, 12 hours a day, breakfast served, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m.
A dozen locations in Jacksonville. You can order pickup or delivery and download the Whataburger app. New rewards members get free Whataburger items when placing their first online order. Just download the app. And for us coffee drinkers, Whataburger has all new hot coffee and iced coffee too. Satisfy that coffee craving at Whataburger 24/7, and it comes in a variety of flavors. Burgers, breakfast, coffee, and so much more. Whataburger, just like you like it. Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Tony Mazzio, Stanwood High School, class of 2002.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oakleaf High School.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School. Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Welcome back to the Blitz Breakdown. Getting ready for this weekend, we have got some exciting matchups on hand. Some tough ones to pick here, Brody. It's a big slate this week.
Yeah, it is, man. We got plenty of great games, and I'm excited to I wish we could watch all of them, Sometimes I wish we could just sit there and watch all these games, but, we
it's a great place to do that?
Where?
The Friday Night Zone Blitz,
yeah.
starting live at 8 o'clock on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, hosted by Brent Martineau, as well as Stuart Weber popping in there. Coach Kevin Sullivan, who will be joining us here in a minute for picks, live on that show as well, peeking into 5 games this week, including our game of the week. And there are some big-time matchups. IMG Academy coming to town, and there are some tough ones to pick. So we got the best here to do it, Coach Kevin Sullivan. Welcome back to the show. I cannot hear you, Coach. I think we're working on audio here. It says he's muted on Ninja.
No, wait, I'm good now.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Coach Kevin Sullivan.
That happens every week, by the way.
Oh, it's always something, Don't trust the technology, but you know what? It's worked tonight. We've gotten through it, and that's all that matters in the end, right?
Yeah, exactly. Got to go. But I'll get to watch the games on Friday, all of them.
Exactly. You got the best view in the house.
I love it.
Coach Kevin Sullivan, and we got one of the games that will be live on the Zone Blitz, Royal Palm Beach at Camden County. Camden County up there in Georgia, off to a nice 4-0 start to the season. Royal Palm Beach undefeated as well for me. Starting off with the Camden County Wildcats against Royal Palm Beach. That matchup.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Camden County throughout the years. I've heard they're a really good team out down there in Georgia, and just don't know much about the team they're playing, so I'm going to go stick with Camden County on this one, and I think they're going to get the win.
All right. Well, I'm going to take Camden also. The 3 wins that Royal Palm has, their teams are 0-9.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to have to, hearing that, I'm going to have to go with the Camden County as well.
Camden County, clean slate. And so all across the board, Camden County for Royal Palm Beach at Camden County, but should be a good matchup there, undefeated teams. Next one we got, I'm calling it the Kevin Sullivan Bowl, Jackson at Atlantic Coast. 2 of the main teams you coach for, Coach Sullivan, so I'm interested to get your take on this. I'll start us off with Atlantic Coast bouncing back after a rough showing last week against Sandalwood.
Yeah, I think Atlantic Coast is going to take this one too. I think both teams are about evenly matched going into this, but I just think Atlantic Coast is a little bit better of a defense, and I'm going to take them in this one.
Well, I had to sort of think about this one a little bit. Getting AC back with the win last week. Jackson's lost 2 in a row to 2 decent teams, and but I'm going to go with AC.
Yeah, I'm going to go with AC too. I think this will be a really good game, good matchup, good to watch, but I'm going to have to go with AC on this one.
2 clean slates to get us started. Atlantic Coast, our prediction for that one. Next up, this is an exciting matchup here. IMG Academy, one of the top programs in the nation, coming to town. They did this against Bartram Trail a couple of years ago, and the Bears actually hung with them going into halftime. It was actually a pretty good game in which the Conquerors pulled away there in the second half, and that's just such a talented team. I think that going to have to go with them over the Mandarin Mustangs.
Yeah, I'm going to have to hold your brakes on that one.
Not so fast.
I think the 904 team's going to go in there, and they're going to take care of business against IMG Academy. I'm taking Mandarin Mustangs.
I love it.
I like it. I caught some flack for picking Bradford last week from the Mandarin coaches. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm going to go ahead and go with IMG.
I can't pick against the 904, so got to go with the Mustangs on Friday night.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to catch any flack over there at Mandarin, but it's IMG. I'm going IMG, and so we got split decision there. Excited to see how that one pans out on Friday night. And another interesting matchup, we got Bishop Kenny coming off that loss to Bowles, going into Beachside, coming off the Barracuda's big win against Ponte Vedra. And I think Bishop Kenny, we talked about it earlier, how much a rivalry game, a big loss like that can fire up a team. So I think that team, that defense comes out, they shut down that Beachside offense, and I think Caleb Madison and that offense gets rolling. So give me Bishop Kenny over the Beachside Barracudas.
Yeah, said a lot of good points there. They're definitely going to be hungry going into this game. I think this is a really hard game to pick, though. Bishop Kenny, I think they're a solid team. Still has that really good win over University Christian under their belts, but tough loss to Bowles last week. And on the flip side, Eddie Jordan returns for Beachside, and he was slinging against PV. So I liked what I was seeing from the highlights of that game. I'm going to take Beachside sneaking out with the win on this one.
Okay. So this one was a toss-up for me again because Beachside's sort of got their quarterback back, playing well. Big win for them against PV last week. And Bishop Kenny didn't fare very well. It sort of got away from him. But I'm going to take BK on this one.
Okay, I'm going to go with Beachside on this one. Huge win over PV, like you guys said, 33-20. I think Beachside is going to win this one. Close battle. I think Beachside will come out with the win.
I think the key here is Bishop Kenny doesn't want to get into a shootout with Beachside. They got to make Beachside play their brand of football. They got to keep this one a lower scoring game and rely on their defense. And I'm actually interested, Coach, why you went with Bishop Kenny over that Beachside team.
Well, I think that the thing that I like about Bishop Kenny, with the exception of last week, is they've really played well as the whole offense, defense, and special teams clicking together. And last week, I think it just got away from them a little bit early on, and maybe they didn't match up really well with Bowles. And so I just think they're going to come back. They're going to make the adjustments. A good staff. Coach Duffy's going to do a really good job. That's a really hard one to pick, but I just feel like Kenny's got a little bit better, and that's why I'm taking them.
Yeah, that offense going to be moving with a little extra pep in their step after getting shut out last week. And an exciting game over there at the Reef in St. Johns County. Split decision there as well. And another very interesting matchup here. Bowles going over to Oakleaf, two Elite 8 teams in our rankings. And Bowles is ranked higher. They're the number 4 team in our rankings. Oakleaf, number 6. But Oakleaf's they've got it rolling here in the past couple weeks. A couple nice wins for the Knights. They're coming off of a win against a top 50 team in Florida last week. That offense is going. That was struggling for them out the gate. That defense has been phenomenal all season long. And my gut's just telling me Oakley for this game, so I'm going with the Knights.
Yeah, again, this is just I think it's just a tough week of picks for us today, making our jobs really hard on us. So, definitely tough. I like everything you said, man. I'm like sitting there when you're talking. I'm like, you know what? They might do it. But then, I'm sitting here thinking about Bowles. I think they're very evenly matched with talent. I think they're even like from position to position. Oakleaf's got really good receivers. So does Bowles. They got a really good QB over there. So does Bowles. And I just think the run game for Bowles is just going to keep riding. That sophomore running back is just an absolute stud. He's putting up big numbers. I'm just going to take Bowles by just a little bit. That's what I'm doing.
Coach, okay. When I asked for predictions yesterday, you put Oakleaf or Bowles. No one's ever done that before. Have you made your decision for this game, or are you sticking with, you know what, one of the teams is going to win, so might as well pick both?
Well, I think it's going to come down to stopping Bowles' run game. Oakleaf's got to be able to slow him down and stop him a little bit. Edwards is going to get his yards. They do a really good job. But Oakleaf's strength is their front 7 and some good secondary guys. But those guys up front have really controlled the line of scrimmage and dominated. They don't have to blitz a bunch. They can play a lot of base stuff. And I'm going to take Oakleaf in the upset, being at Oakleaf.
Yeah. Make sure you guys tune in on Zone Blitz. Really good games this week, including this one. But you got to take it back to the rankings. There's a reason Bowles is above Oakleaf in our rankings, so I'm going to go with the Bulldogs this Friday night.
Yeah, Bowles, I don't know. I just got a feeling. And by the way, Coach, I've heard that Oakleaf is an extremely tough environment to go in and play at.
Yeah, Coach Foy, this is year 3 for Coach, and he's got them bigger and stronger, and got a great following out there, great group of kids that are playing that he's sort of built this thing with. And I just think that Bowles has done a really good job, and they've been comfortable. They've given up a lot of points defensively, and Oakleaf can score, and that's why I'm saying if Oakleaf can control the run game and keep Bowles, making Bowles one-dimensional and throw it, I think Oakleaf's got a really good chance.
Yeah, and Oakleaf, I mean, they are dangerous. They've got threats. They're a team that will shut down some of the best offenses in the area. They did that in the playoffs last year to Mandarin and against Nice. That's a very well-coached team as well. Trace Burney, one of their wide receivers, is one of the best high school receivers I've seen in recent years. They have got a very good chance at home against Bowles, and again, my gut's just telling me I think Oakleaf pulls it out. They seem to have done a really nice job under Chris Foy of winning these big games, and a big matchup there on Friday night. That'll be live on the Zone Blitz. Then St. Augustine at Nice, a battle of what seem to be the 2 top teams in St. Johns County right now, and this is another one that's really tough to pick. These teams are very similar, both very talented teams that can put up points, but I think Nice just has the edge defensively. That is a unit that is not a team that anyone wants to see lined up from them on the defensive side of the ball. And St. Augustine, they still have struggled on the defensive side of the football to stop teams from scoring. So for that reason, I'm taking the Nice Panthers.
Yeah, I just think this is, a really good game to watch. It was a really good game last year. I mentioned it multiple times in this show that Nice St. Augustine game last year was almost like a 5-star classic. Really good game. I expect another one this year. I think it's a big coaching duel between Braddock and Drafts. I mean, that's just an awesome matchup that we'll always love to see. And I agree with you. I think it has a lot to do with that Nice defense going up against that St. Augustine offense. That St. Augustine offense has not been stopped. They've been rolling. But I think they're going to hit some hiccups with this Nice defense. And if Nice can just have a good offense performance, I think Nice takes it, and that's what I'm going with.
I like that breakdown. But St. Augustine offensively, if they're without Wingo, it's a Nice all the way for me. And I'm going to take Nice because what you said, St. Augustine has given up a bunch of points to good teams, average teams, but they've given up a lot of points. James has done a great job. I really like that young man, the quarterback for St. Augustine. But if Wingo is out like he was last week, I think it's going to be a different story, and I think Nice takes it.
Yeah, if you would have asked me about this matchup about a week ago, I think I had another answer. But St. Aug kind of have a tough game last week against Riverside, 47-41 it was. I think Coach Drafts and the Nice Panthers are going to come out with this win.
Yeah, and you know what makes me nervous is we'll have a graphic that we're going to post, and it's going to have Nice. Going
to look a little something like this right here.
That makes me really nervous about Friday night because there's something about that. I got a feeling that maybe just because all 4 of us did it, St. Augustine's going to have a win, and they're going to let us know about it too, if that is the case.
It's tough looking at it because, you see a clean sweep on the board, you're usually going to think they're the big favorites or anything. I don't really think either team's a big favorite going into it. I think they're very evenly matched, and I think it's going to be a great game. But, yeah, we could hear some stuff from the St. Augustine fans and players after this week.
Neck and neck matchup. Now, we are under a minute, so we got to get this thing wrapped up quickly. But our game of the week, West Nassau at Yulee. First time these teams have met undefeated since 2020. Coach Sullivan, Chandler, what are your picks?
I'm taking West Nasty.
Yeah, I'm going West Nassau as well. They've been very dominant.
Coach Dougherty's doing a great job at Yulee.
Yeah.
I think the run game and being able to control the clock and slow the game down for West Nassau is going to be the difference.
That will be live here on our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Coach Sullivan, thanks again for joining us here this week. Some exciting games on Friday night, and man, I cannot wait to see it live on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. We will see you Friday night for the Zone Blitz and the Game of the Week, and we will see you next week for the Blitz.